Another Monday and another Dragon Force Racing League event. Good evening, dear racing fans, for round 8 in season 7 of the Dragon Force Racing League. And we are getting late. It is late in the season, race number 8 of 10. So with tonight, it's just 3 races left. And late in the season means it's crunch time. Points are crucial now to decide the ongoing battles that we will have a close eye on for tonight and the next 2 races, of course. For the moment, let's have a look what we are doing here tonight. We will have a 18 minutes qualifying, followed by a, I think, 27 laps race or something here in Bahrain in the desert night. And we have full rules and flags, VSC, safety car, all that stuff is set to on. We have strict corner cut. That definitely is always a topic in Bahrain. Corner cut just as much as track limits. And then here are the assists we drive with, or that can be activated. That's the anti-lock brakes, for example. Maximally medium traction control, manual gearbox. Pit assists are both off, so you have to maintain the velocity when turning towards the pit lane. And this is a big topic because it is on one of the fastest positions on the track. So that means you're coming out of the last turn, out of turn 16 or turn 15 it is, and you have to accelerate. Then all of a sudden you have to brake. You don't want to brake too early, but that can inflict a 5 seconds penalty if you are a bit unlucky or a bit too late on the brake. This is the track. Track difficulty is set to easy. Yeah, I accept that, but there is one very difficult turn, maybe one of the most difficult turn combinations in the whole year, the turn 9 and 10 combination. We will watch that in just a moment. 5.4 kilometers of length in Zakir, Bahrain, and lap record is still dating back to Pedro de la Rosa, a 1:31.4, but that will be blasted by... I expect our drivers to be at least 5 seconds faster than the real life lap record. So I expect our drivers, at least the top 5 or so, to post 1:24, maybe 1:25, something around that. The lobby is steadily filling up. We have 17 drivers now. I think that should be it for tonight. We should be 16 plus 1 reserve as far as the Discord check-in tells us, and that is where we stand right now. I'm having myself a look in the background chats. And I think that it's exactly 9 p.m. on my watch. At least, sorry, 9 p.m. continental. Most of the drivers are British, so 8 p.m. Let's have a short browse through our lobby. Right when the session timer starts to tick down, we see a few new names. For example, Uncle Cells and Bert Calevert. Caprinicon, still not sure how to pronounce him. Already saw him last week. Akmladen is a new one. Cameron Doubts, I think, too. Shippo, the legendary Michael Shipley, will be our host for tonight. And very, very important, Khair and Zondi are both in the lobby. And this is the prime topic to talk about for tonight. Well, we see these beautiful pictures of the Bahrain night. Bahrain was brought into the F1 calendar in 2004, same year as Shanghai, China. Incredible how long it's already part of the calendar. 17 years, my goodness. And in the early years, we were racing here during daytime, so in the hot desert. Then something around 2010, Singapore installed the first night race. Abu Dhabi did so too, and since something around 2013 or something like that, I think Bahrain is now a night feature too. And it's good, not only because it's nice looking, but more or less, even more important is the fact that the temperatures are just more endurable for man and machine. And we see the first Mercedes, the car of Xenex Josh, being sent out. Xenex Josh, who had himself a horrible last night event in Abu Dhabi, crashing with Tom Inferno. I think Tom Inferno is not even part of the league anymore after the Inferno he caused. And the first who's ruled out is a Williams. That's Peter 1948. Earlier in our season, he caused a little bit of confusion with that because someone thought we would have a 73-year-old man with us, but nope. 1948 is... I don't know what it is, but not surrounding his birthday or birth year. While we see him on his outlap, little tradition of mine to stay with the first one who's out, and that was Peter, even though Xenex Josh left his garage a little earlier, but the Williams so far behind in the pit lane, that means he was out a bit earlier. So let's sit on his shoulder here for his first hot lap try. This is the last turn and beginning of the hot lap. There is the pit lane entry, what I mentioned. So you are accelerating and then all of a sudden you have to brake again. This will cause a few penalties. I would like to assume already by now. Did not hit the apex in turn 1. Turn 1, 2, 3 combination. Right here is where Romain Grosjean had his big accident in December of last year. Then turn 4, that caused so many track limits discussion in the real life, not in the game, luckily. We are already now in sector 2. This was right at the end of sector 1. Here's sector 2. Turn 8. And then the very difficult combination of turn 9 and 10. The car is very light here through this kink and now into the sink here down, one of the hardest braking points in the whole year. But Peter managed it quite well. He did it quite well and quite tidily. He's trying to take every inch of the track for turn 11 here. Up the hill around some rock here on the right hand side. And turn 14 was okay too. For the last turn, turn 15, he will scoot out as far as he can on the left hand side. And looked quite well. This was one hot lap in Bahrain. And the time is a 1:26.4. Not bad. But not 100% competitive, as we see Mr. Cameron Doubts, who is giving his debut, I think, here in the DFRL, is already faster, just by 4 thousandths, but on the medium, being slightly faster than Peter But on the slower tire, that already tells you that the P2 time was not so really competitive. We see Uncle Cells, who is, I think, giving his debut as well. He is 2.5 seconds behind Cameron Doubt's Shippo, the legendary Peter Shipley, who is our host. Let's say good evening to him. There he is. There he not is. There he is. The legendary Haas driver, he is half a second almost behind Doubts, even though he ran on softs. So that backs up how good the Doubts time was. We further, what do we see? What else can we see? Mr. H. Collins, 8NRD554. Cryptic name. His hot lap time got deleted by the game, so he exceeded track limits somewhere. Likewise to Skin Dog and Jason Sargent. And we have a new pole setter, that's Akmladen. He is 2.25 tenths faster than Cameron Doubts. But on softs. So, as Michael Shipley is likely to come back to the pits, let's have a look who is on a hot lap. Maybe it's actually no one on a hot lap, but the Ferrari of Norsey is about to turn on a hot lap. Norsey, who was, I think, inactive last week. Not so sure. Not sure if I read his name last week. Anyway, let's have a short moment to have a look at the overall standings. I mentioned that it is incredibly important that Jair and Zondi are both active for tonight, because Zondi had a great Season 7. He is the reigning champion from Season 6. He had great races in Season 7, but he was a bit unstable on activity. He missed last week in our race in Belgium. Zondi was inactive in Belgium. Jair had a big moment to make up points on his main rival, but Jair did not qualify. He had to start from the last position, and guess what? Jair won it. What an incredible performance by Jair, and he did it. He came back from the last to the very front. And that means that Sondi's cushion, Sondi's gap, is down to only 9 points anymore. 9 points. That means if, for example, Jair would win tonight, Sondi gets third, Jair would be ahead. And then we see P3, that is Anand Tanki, the Slayer. But he was inactive last week. He is inactive tonight. He complained about a few situations, let's call it that way, situations inside the league. What I can understand, by the way, what I fully understand what he said. And that maybe was a bit of a bummer to his motivation. And this could be a reason why he is inactive tonight, why he was inactive last week and is the same tonight. Anyway, as he is inactive with 38 points of gap to Zondi, he will probably be ruled out of the championship race when tonight's event is over. He's on a rather safe third spot in case he makes some more points this season. And then we see a few battles for midfield positions. For example, the battle for fourth, that is Jason Sargent, who is still timeless, last position right now. Jason Sargent, he is 2 points ahead of Kian Stevens. 60 and 58, Kian in 8th, Jason in 17th. And then we see a battle for 7th position. That's Pingu, Corentin, and Kix. Kingu 34 points, Corentin 33, and Kix 27. Yeah, but none of them is active tonight. None of them is here. So that will all stay that way. Corentin and Kicks already told us in Discord that they will be inactive. Pingu did not. That might mean, I'm not sure if Pingu is still part of the league. But there's a lot of up and down here right now. A lot of ins and outs. Partly I can understand because of the fact that we are late in the game, we are in the summertime, so people rather go out doing things outdoors. A lockdown is done, at least for the moment. So I can understand that focus is on something else in these days. Still, it's a nice thing to have a almost full grid with 17 drivers, and that causes a bit of ups and downs, ins and outs. A few new names to the league. One of our admins, Gavin Poynton, very eager on recruiting. Did so with me too. So he's posting a lot in the very well-known Facebook groups. Meanwhile, we see Mr. Xinex Josh in the pole with the 126.1. Still in the 26th. I expected us to be at least in the 125s. Not yet. But we still see a lot of drivers without times, like Jason Sargent, who is on an outlap now on mediums. Outlap for Luke Beck likewise. Spencer Milton, by the way, in P16 got his lap time deleted, and Akmladen is back into the pole. Provisional pole, just 36 thousandths ahead of Xinex Josh. Where are our rivals, our championship fighters? We see Jair still timeless in P14, and Sondi not much better. Sondi only in P12. This is an interesting qualifying. One more thing I want to mention, that is the tire situation. Because Bahrain is one of those tracks where you can have a monstrous advantage if you start on mediums. Because a one-stop race is a lot faster. Because of, this situation here with the pit lane. I already mentioned it a few times. But you just cannot have a one-stop race if you start on softs. The softs are so soft, they are too soft for this race, for this track. You will see that in the race, the first soft starters will have to pit in lap 5, 6, maybe 7 already. And the hards just, you cannot run 22, 25 laps on hards. So if you want to have a one-stop race, you must start on mediums. But on the other hand, with the mediums, you just don't get into the top 10. Or let's say top 5. Let's have a short look about the tire situation. The best lap time, have a look. It's only Cameron Doubts in P4 who has posted his lap time on mediums. So I would like to, if I was in his spot, I think I would just lean back and wait what's happening. But he is running on softs again, so he will improve his lap time on softs, and that will mean that he will have to start on softs. Not a good idea. Not a good idea from Cameron Doubts. Even if he might lose 1 or 2 more spots, starting on mediums would be so much more important. And Sondi is now on an outlap on softs, and Khair is on a hot lap on mediums. Let's have a look at him maybe for the moment. With 3.5 minutes left, this is his only and final shot already. Not enough time to come back to the pits, mount fresh tires and get out on track again. So this must be it for Khair now. And this is just the same situation as last week in Belgium. He had just one single hot lap shot in the very last minutes and he did not make it. He had his track time deleted, invalids, I think in Eau Rouge or so. And then he had to start from the last row. Right now, after 2/3 of the track, it is still looking good for him. No comparison yet, cannot tell how much this time is good or not. If it's competitive or not. Let's just see what the time will tell in the end for him. Looked rather cleanly and P2, my goodness! Khair from 0 to 2. Woohoo! 61 thousandths only the gap to Zenex Josh. Wow, my goodness. My goodness. Zenex Josh, who is finished. He just quitted. He just called this a quali. Khair really with a monstrous time, and now the pressure is on Sondi. There he is, but on softs. Sondi, who is improving to his formerly posted time, but the former posted time was 4 seconds lower, so he got to improve. What does the Hungarian driver do? In the pole for Sondi, 125. Finally, we got it. 125 low, 125.0 for Sondi. I was expecting a time like this, and finally, in the very last moment, he did it. Pole for Sondi, Khair in third, Zenex Josh in between. The top three are finished. The drivers behind, there is no one on a hot lap right now with a minute left, so I think the prime positions might already been given. Spencer Milton, let's see what the AlphaTauri driver is doing. He is a fastie too. I know him a bit, he can be pretty fast. No comparison yet, as this is his only time he will post. Collins on a hot lap now too. A bit of luck tire there, but it was okay. He hit the apex at least. And then, in the end, where will the time stop for Spencer Milton? Fourth fastest. Not bad. A whole second, over a second behind Sondi, but fourth is quite good. Fourth is quite good. What else is going on? Who else is running? H. Collins. No, he is not. Lap is invalid. Shippo, our host, Michael Shipley. I will miss this Haas livery. Not the most incredible one, but at least better than a Russian color combination. What we will see in just 2 weeks from now. And Shipley is only in P12. No improvement for him. And that should be it. I suppose there is no one else running on a hot lap. And Jason Sargent did not manage to post a hot lap. Can you believe it? Jason Sargent, P17, last position. Not that he didn't run, but he didn't manage to stay on the safe side of track limits. So I think we should be through. Some driver is still validly running. That can only be Spencer Milton, I guess, because Shippo is already under the checkered flag. So, oh yeah, Spencer is taking all the time he has. Is already over half a minute, I want to say, behind his hot lap here on his return to the pits. Yeah, just take your time, Spencer. Just take your time. Don't waste hours. Just take yours. So finally, yes, now finally we did it. This is now the official end of the qualifying. We finished it on the shoulder of Spencer Milton, and this is the starting grid for tonight's race. Sondi in the pole, followed by Zinek's Josh in the first row. Then Jair, the big rival, in third, but on mediums. Spencer Milton 4th, 5th Akmalarin, 6th Kian Stevens, 7th Collins, 8th Luke Beck, 9 Peter, 10th Cameron Douts, 11 Bert Calibert, 12 Chapeau, 13 Nolsey, 14 Skindog, 15 Uncle Cell, 16 Caprinicon, and no time set for, normally I say Frenzy on this place, but no time set for Sargent. Okay. Hello, James Stouts. Welcome to the chat box. Thanks for telling us that your, what is it? Brother, cousin, dad, son, whatever, Cameron Douts, had some pedal issues and had to restart the PlayStation. Thanks for keeping me updated, and cheers. Have a nice Monday evening with watching us. And our drivers have still a few seconds left to get the strategy sorted out, and I will be back with you in a moment. So here I am again, and what a big surprise! Have a look, there is sunlight. Can you believe it? There is sunlight in Bahrain. I don't know if this was a malfunction or if it was on purpose by our host Michael Shipley. Anyway, on the last race in Bahrain, on the last event I can broadcast here from Bahrain, we have us a day race, and that is cool. That is a cool idea because it's something different than usual, different than used. But, one big but, this will heavily increase the tire wear in this race. Speaking about tires, this is it. We see the top 9. Everyone on softs except Jair, of course. Then P10 onwards, Cameron Douts. Everyone is on mediums except the Ferrari of Nordsea and the Alfa Romeo of Jason Sargent. Yeah. I'm not sure. I don't like to start on hards, I admit, because you have just one set. You have a lot less grip to start, and you just cannot have a damage. You cannot have an early pit stop, because that will ruin this one set of hards you have. So, the starting sequence, the 5 red lights of Bahrain, and then race number 8. Let's go, go, go. Good start for Sondi. Sondi, no pressure from the getaway. Now maybe it's Cinex Josh inside. Cinex Josh inside. Cinex Josh is through for the moment. Jair in third, and then Williams tangling with both the Alpha Tauris and not look back. Everything was clean in the first 3 turns, I think. Did not see some debris flying off. And in the background, let's have a look what is happening, or if there is anything happening. Here's the attack from the Mercedes of look back inside. Could not squeeze himself through. What else is going on? Some locked tires, but everything okay here in turn 10. And ahead. This is the wrong Mercedes. I wanted to search for these guys. There is the battle for the lead, and Sondi is ahead again. Ooh, there's a lot going on here. The top 4 are very close. Then we saw a short yellow already vanished. Someone was next to the track, I suppose, but no big issue, I guess. So the top 4 are very close. Here is the bug lobby malfunction, as far as I think that it is called. So this lap we cannot rely on what's standing there on the left hand side. We will have to wait a lap until it's cleared again. Until then, let's browse through and get us some action depicted. This is look back against Spencer Milton. This is dangerous wheel to wheel in these sections. And back had to lift, let Spencer Milton go. And ahead we see the battle from the other Alpha Tauri, Kian Stevens against Akmaraden. Bit of locked tire there in turn 10 that we will see a lot of times. But everything was very smoothly and very cleanly. Not a single pit stop, so that means no damage, no incident in the opening laps. That's a sign of quality, I would like to say. So now we turn into the real lap 3 and DRS will be activated. And have a look, Sondi is already out of the DRS window. Cinex Josh 1.5 seconds away. And now under pressure from Jair. And Cinex Josh, who was in the lead for the first half a lap, while we see the overtake. Can he hang on? Yes, he can. Now even the DRS in favor of Jair, and that should work now. Yellow behind us, already vanished. Yes, Jair is through. Muscled himself through there. Yeah, I wanted to say Cinex Josh had a good start, pulling ahead of Sondi, but couldn't hold it up longer than half a lap. So Sondi definitely the faster driver. Just had a, I don't know if it was some kind of a lapse up after the start, or if Cinex Josh just had a better lane through the turn 1, 2, 3 combination. And by the way, thanks for clearing it up. James doubts that Cameron doubts is his son. I hope that everything's fine for his pedals now. And now it's time for pedal to the metal. And what's happening here? Ooh, there is a big damage for Collins, who had to get his car in the right direction and now needs a new nose. And we see Peter, who is far behind too, very far behind. Pit stop. First pit stop, 10x Josh. First pit stops, not just one. Jason Sargent too. Oh, and Kean Stevens, first penalty, and that's a big one, a drive-through for him. Jason Sargent, yeah, that was obvious. Nuno's for him, fresh mediums. That is exactly what I meant. If you start on hards, you have one set of hards. That one set is wasted for him now because he needed a new nose. Collins, we saw it, he needed a new nose. And Xenex Josh, have a look how early that was. Xenex Josh, one of the soft starters, and he had to turn to his pit crew already in lap 4. My goodness. How early can it be? So, speaking about medium starter tire advantage, and this will be a big one for Jair. Here is our top duo. Xenex Josh is away, so it's just a duo anymore. Jair is 1.7 seconds behind Sondi, and that is totally fine for him. Totally fine. He knows that he is on the fastest strategy. The only thing that can get in the way for him is a mistake, of course. That can always happen. But beside that, only a bad luck timed safety car. That is the only thing that can save Sondi out of the strategy situation. And then in third, look back already 4 seconds away. Under pressure maybe here by Cameron Doubts, the Renault pedal issue man. Back with a bit of braking issue. Cameron Doubts was cautious there in turn 8. Now short DRS zone in favor of Cameron Doubts to the inside. And this worked. Looked rather easily. Now around the rock. Luke Beck, who is in theory on the faster tire, but I mentioned it, the softs might already start to degrade here. So that could mean penalty against Luke Beck behind. And not Luke Beck does not pit, at least not yet. Here the DRS zone in favor of Beck, but he's far away, too far for an attack. Next DRS zone's coming up right now, and Peter is out! Peter is out! On the left-hand side, we will see a wrecked Williams, and we have a safety car! Safety car! There's a Williams. Safety car, and this will save Sondi. Sondi will pit now. Let's see if Jair will pit too. Jair wouldn't have to pit, but if he does, both would be on a parallel strategy. I suppose Sondi will get himself a fresh set of mediums. He will still have another stop in needed afterwards. He cannot go through with just one set of mediums from now on. Let's see. Sondi is the first who has to decide. Sondi will have to come in. The softs are more or less done already by now anyway. Sondi is in and Jair does not. Jair sticks to his plan. Let's stay with the Hungarian. Let's see how far behind he will drop. Oh, hearts for him. Hearts for Sondi. But still, it's too long. I heavily doubt that Sondi can go through until the end of the race. And everyone behind Sondi is pitting, and that will mean that Sondi is just in second. Incredible. Incredible. I suppose, have a look. Really, everyone is pitting. Everyone. The only one who didn't is just Jair and then Zenex Josh, who pitted just 2 laps ago. And then everyone, 0 laps on everybody's tires. Now Jason Sargent and probably Collins will stay out. Yep. Incredible. I suppose that Jair was hoping that Sondi might be a bit buried down into the midfields and get a few drivers in between both of them. But no, Sondi's right behind. On fresh hards. Fresher tire, but slower tire. I expect Jair to still be faster. Not much, not long, but he should be faster on the restart and the early few laps after safety car is in. By the way, what we didn't talk about is the Constructors' Championship, and that is very close too. So on the driver's side we see a duel, Jair and Sondi battling it out, but on the constructor side we see a threesome battle. Racing Point, the team of Jair, is leading with 139 points. In second then is Alfa Romeo. I have no clue how or why, but yeah. No Alfa anywhere near the points. Yeah, near. Okay, Sargent is 11th, so he is near the points. And then in third, Red Bull with 131. So these 3 teams are within only 8 points. But how things look like now, Alfa Romeo would drop down heavily. So it would then be a battle between the teams of Jair and Sondi. What else should it be? Red Bull with Sondi battling against Racing Point with Jair. The pink car will vanish soon too. As soon as the new game is out, this pink will transform into British racing green, dark green of Aston Martin. I'm looking forward to that. I am not looking forward to talk about Alpine and the Ruski Haas, but I will be looking forward to talk about the Aston Martins. Yeah, anyway, I expect the safety car to be ruled in this lap, and I will have a short sip and be back with you in a moment. So Bernd Mailänder in the safety car is already away, while we see a 5 seconds penalty, another one, for Luke Beck. And this is not the restart yet. Jair is still slowly warming up his tires, and now he is away. Oh, he surprised Sondi really big. And behind it's getting close between Zenex Josh and Cameron Doubt. Oh, doubts under pressure from outside from the Ferrari of North Sea. But everything was okay. Not okay for Zinex, Josh. Not okay for... Where is he? Where is he? I'm searching him. And he took out Sargent 2 and the Ferrari of Uncle Cells. My goodness. My goodness. On the Romain Grosjean straight, Zinex Josh went sideways. I have no idea what happened there. He just went sideways when accelerating, and then everything was lost for him. And likewise it is for Sargent and Uncle Cells. Oh my. So all of that works in favor for Cameron Doubts, who is on a potential podium here right now, sitting in third. But he is chased hard once again by Luke Beck. Let's have a short glimpse of the penalty seconds. We see 8 seconds on the account of Luke Beck. Nordsee has a +5, Bert Calevert a +5, and 3 for Sargent and 8 for Uncle Cells. It's less than I expected, but more are incoming, I suppose. That is at least very likely here on the track of Bahrain. So Bert Calevert gave away his position to Caprinecon. I have still no idea. Yeah, and Uncle Cells has retired. He is out after he was taken out there somehow, somewhere between turn 3 and 4 on the so-called Romain Grosjean straight. And so what's going on? There's a lot of going on. I'm just searching or considering where the biggest action might occur. Could be that it's this group here. North Sea chasing back, chasing Doubts. They are in a potential DRS window, even though they look like they would be a bit far away. And they have a safety car. Calevert is out. Calevert. Did he crash? Oh, he crashed. Yes, he did. He did. The second Renault is out. Another safety car. And now, yes, Jair pits. Haha, just wanted to mention it. This is the safety car window for those who did not stop earlier. But, hearts for Jair. But now he will drop. Sondi did not drop. Sondi dropped only one position. Jair drops down a lot. Jair down to 10th. Sondi back in the lead. Both now on hards. But it's just 3 laps apart, 3 laps away of each other. Jair now can go through on his hards. Yes, I believe so. But can Sondi? That is the big question. Can Sondi go through on his hards? And I want to consider the fact that this is not a night race here today. Bahrain is actually a night race. For some reason, Michael Shippo is a legend, P8, our host, decided that this shall be a day race. I'm not sure if it was intentional or by jeopardy. Or by accident. But anyway, on a day race with these higher temperatures, the tire degradation is a lot higher, and that could mean that Sondi won't make it through. There's a lot of coulds and ifs and mights in this sentence, but this will be the big story in the end. This will be the big story. So once again, let's have a short look on the penalty situation. We have, yeah, a lot of penalties have been served now. Only +3s left for Lookback and Sargent. Sargent, is he in the pits again? Can you believe it? Jason Sargent. He opted for fresh mediums. Ooh, that is long. That is long. He doesn't have hearts anymore. Remember, he wasted them on the start. No hearts anymore for Sargent. He could go through this race on hearts, but he doesn't have a set anymore. So he must take mediums, and I doubt that he can make it through on them. So half a lap left until we have the next restart, and I will take another moment and we'll be back with you shortly. So, safety car in this lap, the second stint, the second work shift for Bernd Mailänder has now officially ended, and Zondi is pacing the field here in Sector 3. And this time it is Cameron Doubts who is chasing him. Cameron, whose father James is watching us. I suppose a proud father watching his son chasing our champion from season 6. And Sondi was just as good on the restart as Jair was a few laps ago. No chance for Doubts to attack. But likewise, no pressure from behind, so everything went smoothly here on the restart. Here's the look on the field. There's a bit of left and right here in the background. That was Skin Dog. Ooh, wheel to wheel, Skin Dog and Kian Stevens! And this doesn't work here on this spot. Ooh, Kian Stevens lifted in the very last moment. There was a tag. There was a tag between Skin Dog and Kian Stevens. Yellow already vanished. That was behind us. And this is Jair chasing and working his way back through the field. Already up in 7th now. Battled ahead, muscled through against both the McLaren boys. And now he has both the Alpha Tauris and a Haas in front of him. Still no DRS, of course. Next lap is still without, and then in lap 15 we will have DRS activated again, and this is turning into a very interesting 3-man battle here. Jair versus Stevens versus Skin Dog. Skin Dog still ahead. Yellow in sector 3. Someone in the pits. Luke Beck retired. Luke Beck has parked his car in the garage and is out. Kian Stevens with the attack. Wheel to wheel again here in this section. This does not work still. And this time it was Skin Dog who had to lift and might lose another position here. Hard battle from Jair. Wow, and he's through in the end. And he pushed through. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? He made it through. It was hard. It was really, really hard fighting. but the track allows it. You have a little bit of space left and right, and I think it's okay to avoid a collision. And now Jair is already sitting on the rear wing of Kian Stevens. No DRS yet. Stevens with a 3 seconds penalty. Jair is so close. If he had a screwdriver, he could repair the Stevens gearbox. DRS enabled, but not for this zone yet. Just the next DRS zone after turn 3. He can split the BWT then. Yeah, this looks like it would be happening very soon in favor for Jair, but not anymore. Not anymore now. He was a bit far away on acceleration, and he doesn't risk it. At least not yet. On the inside here in turn 4. Wow, what a great acceleration from the racing point. Can I believe it? He just pulled ahead. He was just faster on acceleration, like if Kian Stevens, I don't know, as if the AlphaTauri would have had wooden tires. Yeah, and there's Jair in 5th. This might have costed him a bit on tire degradation, these fights. But he made his way through and is now 2.9 seconds behind Spencer Milton. And here's our top trio. Zondi. This man, Zondi, leading from Cameron Doubts from North Sea. That's the top 3. Everyone in the DRS window. DRS supplied by Zondi. But none of them DRSs is close enough to risk an attack. Oh, Collins is out. Collins is out. VSC upcoming. VSC. All the drivers have to obey to sector times. H. Collins 8 NRD 554, by the way, DNF'd on the same spot as already a few before. That is turn 13 around the rock. And if you touch the inside curb there, you are just gone to hell. And that is exactly what happened to him. That is the next turn now. So here, this right-hander, if you touch the inside curb, kiss goodbye. See you next time. So we are back to green. The third incident, luckily we did not need another safety car. Everything was okay with the VSC. And this is good because we need a bit of race rhythm now. Yeah, and here we are back on the shoulder of North Sea, still chasing Doubts, and Doubts chasing Zondi. Cameron Doubts is having a few locked front tires. This is not so good for him. Speaking about tire temperature, tire degradation, there again, almost every turn. The Renault is locking it up. North Sea, by the way, too. So both North Sea and Doubts are on the limit. Here you see both drivers are really moving their car on the limits. A big lockup here on the inside of turn 10. This is what I spoke about earlier. One of the hardest turn combinations. And no attack. Still no attack. Cameron Doubts is close to the Renault, but to the Red Bull, but not close enough to risk an overtake maneuver. And on the other hand, Jair in 5th is getting closer to Spencer Milton, and Jair would sincerely hope that Doubts and North Sea might start tangling with Sondi and cost him time. Fastest lap of the race. Doubts just shortly, now it's Jair. Jair, by the way, now in the DRS window of Spencer Milton. The top 4 are on simultaneously old tires, 10 laps for everyone, but North Sea is running on mediums. So North Sea definitely still in need of a pit stop. The others, question mark. Question mark. Can they make it through? Jair can, but the other drivers, top drivers on hards, Spencer Milton, Cameron Doubts and Zondi, it is questionable if they can make it through, especially on a Bahrain day race with the higher temperatures. And Jair is up in 4th, just here the position swap in the Sector 2 DRS zone. Jair is coming closer to a podium again. If we add up the penalty of North Sea and the fact that North Sea needs a pit stop, Jair is definitely on a podium again. But a podium is not enough. Just a podium is not enough if Sondi wins it. Right now, I remind you, Jair is 9 points behind Sondi. Oh. And what's happening here? Wheel to wheel. Cameron Doubts is not ahead of Sondi, or is he inside? Cameron Doubts is ahead. Doubts into the lead. Wow. After multiple DRS zones, finally he managed to push ahead. But still, almost every turn he has a locked up tire. There it's the front left. So this is not good for his tires. Here now, the first time that the DS zone is in favor of Sondi. Who had a little bit of slide there on acceleration. And all of that, have a look, Jair is within approximately 2.5 seconds of Sondi. So he has almost made up his pit stop. Now let's see, can Doubts stay ahead? Because here is the Hungarian charging up the battle. And the counter. Yes, Sondi back into the lead. So all of this position swap back and forth is only and just working in favor of Jair. Wheel to wheel into turn 4. He's still there. Doubts ahead again. Isn't it nice? Isn't it a great battle for the lead? A clean battle. Let's have a look at this situation from the shoulder of North Sea, who is watching a pink racing point, getting bigger and bigger in his rearview mirror, and that is the Jair point. So this is more or less the only straight of this track that is not a DRS zone. And Zondi is just charging up his overtake button for the next attack. North Sea is still in the DRS window, but just barely. North Sea is about to drop out of the DRS zone, and here is the next attack. Zondi inside. No chance for Doubts to defend. He didn't even try, actually, because he knows that there is a next DS zone in his favor. Inside for Doubts. Back and forth and back and forth. We still have 8.5 laps remaining. 8.5 laps, 3 DS zones. That could mean something around, I don't know, 10, 12, 15 position swaps left in this race. And it's nice. I would take it. Yellow in sector 2, that's right behind us. There was Spencer Milton, maybe, who had himself a moment. 13 laps now on these hards. Still questionable if they can make it through. If they intend to stop, they should do soon, so that they have a few laps remaining on a potential soft tire. A few laps to make these tires work. Nolsey into the pits now. And DS zone for Sondi. This time Doubts defends himself, and he's still there. He is still there. Next DS zone in favor for the Renault now. Yeah, that should work for Doubts again. It did. Yes, it did. I cannot count how many lead changes we already had in this race, but this is so nice. This is so great battling. And have a look who's there. Have a look who's there. The pink man. The Racing Point of Jair, Jesse Pinkman, is in third. Just a few tenths behind Zondi. He made up his pit stop when that he had in the second safety car phase. He is now within half a second of Sondi. Let's see what Jair will do. Let's see if he will play it wisely and try and attack him as late as possible, or if he will do it as soon as he can. For the moment, first we see a lead swap and swap back, and Sondi has swapped himself out. Sondi, we saw him wiggling on acceleration. He had some problems. I expect his tires are degrading with 15 laps already. And he's gone. Have a look. He is 1.3 seconds behind Jair now. This might be it for Sondi. This could be it for the race win for the Hungarian. Yeah, and Cameron Doubts his tires are just as old as Sondi, and we saw him wiggling and going a bit sideways out of turn 10 likewise. So maybe the same will happen for him to him now. Jair, his tires are 4 laps younger. That's not so much, but yeah, enough that he can make it through the race easily, while Sondi and Doubts are struggling, I think. So the next lead change is loading. Not yet. This is the next DRS zone. Not sure if Jair is close enough. At least he tries. No, he doesn't. Doubts defending. Oh, cutback inside. Great acceleration maneuver from Jair. Doubts is defending and Jair is going sideways. Jair is going sideways. Can you believe it? Jair is down to third. My goodness, what an intense race this is. And I can imagine how much Sondi was just smiling when he watched it, when he watched Khair having to go to the run-out zone. He was smilingly, just getting the position gifted. Khair is still on the podium, but he is 4 seconds approximately behind Sondi, and I don't think that he will get back to him. I think this is it. This could be already the decision, and that would mean that Sondi would put 3 more points onto the cushion he has. So from 9 to 12 points of gap to Khair. 12 points for 2 races remaining, so that should still, will be a valid battle. So championship is not decided here by this maneuver, by this race. Just a tiny little advantage for Sondi. And this man coming into the league, he is fast, he definitely is a good racer, and he is not anxious to interfere in the championship battle. In case he can hold it. He is 1.5 seconds ahead of Sondi. We have 4 laps remaining. It is exactly 4 laps right here. Right now, it looks like as if Sondi could make up a bit of ground. And if Sondi could get into the DRS window again, everything is possible from that point onwards. Khair 6.1 seconds behind. Khair has given up, I suppose. Khair has accepted being in P3 in the end. I am sorry that I couldn't depict more of the other battles going on here in this race. I hope everyone is okay with the fact that I was staying with the top 3 so long, as it was such a great battle. We had seen almost the whole race. And here is the battle for 9th. That is Skin Dog against Kian Stevens, but this can hardly be described the battle because Skin Dog is on very old hards, 18 laps, while Kian Stevens will now run away from him on more or less fresh softs, and he must run away from him because there's the picture of the penalties. We see Kian Stevens with a +6, so he must drive away by 6 seconds to keep his position. So maybe Skin Dog just needs to stay within the 6, and we have a penalty against Sondi, +3 seconds against Sondi, and this is really important. Really, really important, because that almost secures the win for Cameron Dowds. He just needs to stay penalty free and just needs to stay, even if Sondi overtakes him, he just needs to stay within 3 seconds and still will be given the race victory. And Khair, on the other hand, Khair is 4.7 seconds away. If he can make up 1.7 seconds in these 3 laps remaining, he would be over Sondi again. And I think Khair has picked up the pace a bit, already down to 4.5. Incredible. Mr. James Dowds just told us about his son, Cameron Dowds. Can you believe it? He's 12 years of age. My goodness. 12 years and already winning his debut here for the Dragon Force Racing League. At least it is looking like he would do so. Wow. Congratulations already by now. Because, yeah, this is a big virtual racing talent, I would like to call it. 2 laps remaining, 9 kilometers, still separate Cameron Outs from his debut victory. He only has to stay on the green side, oh yeah, on the black side actually, on the street side. Don't exceed track limits. Don't commit a mistake in the last 1.5 laps now. But this sometimes is so much harder than it looks, or than, yeah, when you speak it out. And have a look. Jair is 3.5 seconds away from Sondi. 3.4 seconds now, just half a second more, and Jair would be inside the penalty zone of Sondi, and that would mean that Sondi is not 12 points away from Jair, but only 3 points anymore. And Jair, there he is pushing like hell, I suppose. He is about to enter the 3-second zone. 3.0 here. With 1 lap remaining now. 3.0, 2.9, 2.9 in the last lap. 2.9 seconds for Jair, the gap. That would give him P2, even though he was trying to acquire the race victory. That did not work, as we saw. But can he at least be ahead of his big rival? Maybe. It looks good right now. Yeah, James, I read it. Good luck to get your bills repaid. Yeah. We'll be looking forward to hearing more stories about that. Cabrainicon now fastest lap. He could get an extra point for that, and he has a penalty. No! My goodness! Can you believe it? Jair, with half a lap remaining, has picked up a 3 seconds penalty. He was pushing so hard and he committed this one mistake he couldn't do. And therefore everything will stay this way. Everything will stay this way. So now all eyes on the Renault. All eyes on Cameron Dowds. The last straight. Congratulations to the 12-year-old Cameron Dowds for his debut victory in Dragon Force Racing League. I pull my hat. Very well done, Cameron Dowds. Second, then Sondi, making it through on these really old hearts. And in third, Jair, what a race he had. Great quality. P3 on mediums. And then, yeah, those 2 safety car phases really ruined it a bit for him. He came back really good, really strong. But in the end, he just could not quite hang on. But limiting the damage, so Sondi, his prime rival, is only granted 3 points over him. So the final 2 races we will enter with a gap of 12 points. From, yeah, there he is, the virtual Michael Schumacher. First, here is the trophy for the Renault driver. And some virtual champagne exchange between him and Michael Schumacher. So this is it. The final results after penalties. Cameron Doubts has won it, coming from P10 with a good medium to hard strategy. Then Zondi in second. Third goes to Khair. Fourth, Cinex Josh. Good race for him too. Fifth, Spencer Milton. Sixth, North Sea. Seventh, coming into the points from P17 is Jason Sargent. P8, Caprinicon. P9, Kean Stevens. And the last point goes to P10, Skin Dog. 11th is our host, Michael Legend Shipley. P12, Akmladen. P13, H. Collins. He was the first one to DNF. Likewise to Luke Beck, Bert Calibert, Uncle Sam, and Peter. So it will take us a few seconds until the session then has officially ended. By now, I already say thank you for being with us. This was a great race, really, really cool race. Was really fun to broadcast it. I hope you had just as much fun as I did. That was exactly what DFRL needed after a few bit unstable weeks, I would want to call it. We have two races remaining. The next one will be the prime place to be in Monaco. Carbon fiber front wing salad. I'm already looking forward to it. And then the last race in 2 weeks in Austin, Texas. And then we will turn towards the new game. I'm looking forward to that too. So thanks for being with us. If you liked what you saw, just hit the subscribe button and you will get a notification by YouTube once it's Monday 8 p.m. and Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. when I broadcast the mainstream racing series, another pretty high quality and exciting league. So if you want to watch it, be my guest Mondays and Wednesdays in the virtual worlds. I'm Zeb Bauer. Glad you were with us. I hope you will be with us soon when it's racing time again. Yeah, until then, stay safe in these times. Have a great week. And keep racing.